and we know he can play very well, has played rather poorly and at times, dare I say it, irresponsibly on this tour. That was shown on Saturday in Christchurch, when he really just had to push the Australians around, and he slogged out.
Well, the crowd is certainly getting behind the New Zealand team now. They've become very animated, very noisy, and really there is quite an atmosphere here.
Good performance in the field, and that's really livened things up. That bank around there has a lot of fun.
There is the eastern embankment here at the Basin Reserve. Good slower ball from Hadlee. So Kapil Dev has got to get started. I wonder how much effect on Tendulkar that little incident will have.
Yes, it wouldn't do a lot for you. Mind you, it's an incentive to stay in and put off arriving in the dressing room, can't it?
That's right. He might take off to the old stand if he gets out.
Hibernate for the winter.
Good over this from Hadlee, and it's come to an end. Very vital over from New Zealand's point of view. 35 completed, 122 for the loss of 5. 15 overs remaining. And India have 2 relatively new players there. Here's Gavin Larson now to Tendulkar. Oh, that's a wild slog.
Well, that was Grant. Really, Tendulkar showing some immaturity there. He's probably suffering from that run-out problem, as we were talking about. And that is a wild slog. Didn't bounce a great deal, but there wasn't really a lot of future in that shot.
That's a much better looking stroke. You'll get a single for that, down to Martin Snedden. Well, Kapil Dev has come in ahead of AJ Sharma, so maybe Kapil is going to unleash some of those huge shots that he's well capable of, but we haven't seen much of so far on this tour.
No, sadly we haven't seen the best of Kapil Dev. A wonderful all-rounder, wonderful reputation, but he just hasn't... Oops, that looks a bit torrid over there, doesn't it? Certainly is a bit of a gauntlet around the front of that bank.
So Kapil now to face Gavin Larson. Tendulkar's coming.
Now, one gets the feeling that Tendulkar is very jumpy out there. Things since that run out have not been good. And difficult for a 16-year-old to cope with these situations.
Well, Kapil's just having a look at the moment. Tendulkar's keen to get down the other end and face. But Kapil really wants to play himself in. He just wants to have a wee look.
Yes, if he could get himself in and then get established, as I say, and launch at the last 10 overs sensibly.
Gets a single this time, gets his first run.
But India still have to try and get through to the 200 mark to have a reasonable total to defend, because at the moment, if they don't get through to there, if they only finish up, say, 175, 180, it's not really good enough.
Martin Crowe would be thinking that things were going pretty much his way at the moment. Good stroke from Tendulkar, forcing it down to long on. Morrison down there, no chance of a second run. And another good tight over from Larson. Comes to an end at 125 for 5 after 36. One world of sport, 14 overs left in the Indian innings. Hadlee to Tendulkar. Beautifully driven. That's a magnificent shot. 4 runs.
Yes, lovely shot from Tendulkar. That's the way to play it. Straight bat, straight down the ground. Right up to him, and he hit it straight back.
That was always going to the fence. So he'll feel better for that, Sachin Tendulkar. A little pat on the back from Kapil Dev.
Well, I suppose he could still come out with flying colours, couldn't he? He's got 14 overs to go, and if he got 3 or 4 and over himself, He's on 16 now. Who knows?
Calling for the single and easily achieving that run. Martin Crowe's handled the bowlers extremely well. He'd probably want to finish up with Hadlee downwind and Snedden up at the death, wouldn't he, John?
Yes, I would think so. He's had a little more time to think about his captaincy for this game. He was thrust in at the 11th hour on Sunday, half an hour before play started. And that really was a tall order, captaining their side that had been changed around. It was a bit out of balance because of Wright's illness. It wasn't a logical replacement in terms of batsmen there, so he was short of a batsman, playing against probably the best one-day side in the world. So a tall order for Martin Crowe.
Easy run here for Kapil, down to deepish mid-off where Shane Thompson is fielding. Shane Thompson still has 3 overs left to bowl, so also does Larson. Now one would imagine Larson will bowl out at the other end. John, he's done 7.
Yes, one would imagine so. He's going pretty well at the moment. He may be tempted to bring him off because in the last over there's a couple who's hit away, but I would think he'll go through.
And that's the end of the over from Richard Hadlee. 37 completed, 131 for 5.